The Tinder notification lit up my phone at midnight and my blood went cold. Because it wasn't my phone. It was my mother's. The one she'd left on the kitchen counter while she showered upstairs. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. I'd just come down for water when I saw the screen light up with a message preview that made my heart stop. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, beautiful. I've missed those lips. My 47-year-old mother. On Tinder. Getting messages like that. I should have put the phone down. Should have walked away. But my hand was already reaching for it, already swiping up, already entering her passcode, my birthday, because we didn't keep secrets. Or so I thought. The app opened her profile. Professional photos I'd never seen. A bio that read, starting my second chapter. Looking for adventure and real connection. She had 63 matches. 63. My hands shook as I scrolled through the conversations. Different men. Different promises. Different lies she'd told me about where she was going. But then I saw one name that made everything else disappear. Marcus. 52. Recently divorced. I clicked on his profile picture and the world tilted sideways. Because Marcus wasn't just anyone. Marcus was my ex-fiancé's father. The man who'd sat at our engagement dinner 8 months ago and toasted to young love. The man who'd hugged me at his son's apartment and said, "You're the daughter I never had." The man who'd been inside our house a dozen times. And according to these messages, he'd been sleeping with my mother for 3 months. I scrolled up through their conversation, nausea rising in my throat. Marcus. James still doesn't know about us, does he? Mom, no. And Emma definitely doesn't. I feel terrible lying to her, but she's still so hurt from the breakup. I don't think she could handle this. Marcus. Maybe we're actually doing them a favor. Keeping things clean. They can move on without the drama. Mom. Maybe you're right. I read that message 3 times. They'd been discussing me, strategizing around me, deciding what I could and couldn't handle. While James, my ex, the man who'd shattered my heart 6 months ago, had been moving on with someone new, his father had been quietly starting something with my mother. And then I saw the photo. A selfie from last week. Mom and Marcus at a restaurant I recognized. The same night she'd told me she was at her book club. There was no book club. There had never been a book club. I heard the shower turn off upstairs. And I realized I had about 90 seconds to decide what the hell I was going to do with this information. Let me rewind so you understand why this destroyed me the way it did. My name's Sophie. I'm 28. 6 months ago, I was engaged to James Ashford. We'd been together for 4 years. He was my everything. And then, out of nowhere, he called it off. Said he wasn't ready. Said he needed space to figure himself out. 2 weeks later, he was dating someone from his gym. I fell apart. Completely. Moved back in with Mom because I couldn't afford our flat on my own and couldn't stand to be alone with my thoughts. Mom had been incredible. She'd held me while I cried. Made me endless cups of tea. Told me I deserved better. That James was an idiot for letting me go. And the whole time, she'd been messaging his father. They'd matched on Tinder 1 month after my breakup. 1 month. While I was still crying myself to sleep in the room next to hers. But here's what made it worse. Mom had been widowed for 5 years. My dad died of cancer when I was 23. She'd grieved hard. Wore black for a year. Kept his photos everywhere. She'd told me she'd never date again. That dad was her only love. Her forever person. I'd believed her. So when she started going out on Thursday evenings 6 months ago, saying she'd joined a book club, I thought it was healthy. Good for her to have friends. To have something besides work and me. I never questioned it. Never thought twice. Why would I? I put the phone back on the counter exactly where I'd found it. Went back upstairs to my room. Closed the door. My mind was racing. Spinning. Breaking. Thursday evenings. The book club that didn't exist. The new clothes she'd been buying. The way she'd seemed lighter. Happier. I'd thought she was healing. But she'd just been lying. Mom knocked on my door 10 minutes later. Sophie? You okay, love? Yeah. Just tired. All right. Sleep well. I listened to her footsteps fade down the hallway to her room. And then I did something I'm not proud of. I created a fake Tinder profile, but what I discovered next made the affair look innocent. Because when I matched with Marcus using a fake account, he told me something about my mother that made me realize this wasn't romance. It was revenge that I used photos of my friend who'd moved to Canada. Created a profile for Emma, 45. Made myself look available, friendly, recently divorced. And then I matched with Marcus. It took him 4 hours to message me. Marcus: Emma, you seem lovely. What brings you here? Me: just testing the waters. You? Marcus: same. Been seeing someone casually but keeping my options open. No point limiting yourself, right? My stomach dropped.
Casually.
That's what he called it. I kept pushing. Me: smart. So it's nothing serious with her? Marcus: not really. She's nice enough, bit clingy though. Plus there's some complicated history with our kids. Makes things messy. Me: your kids dated? Marcus: engaged, actually. My son called it off. Now I'm seeing his ex's mom. I know, sounds dodgy. But honestly, I think we're both just using each other to feel wanted again. She's lonely.
I'm bored.
It works. I stared at those words until they blurred. Using each other. She's lonely.
I'm bored.
He didn't care about her. This wasn't some beautiful second chance romance. This was convenience. Entertainment. A way to pass time while my mother fell in love with him. I deleted the fake profile. Sat on my bed. Tried to breathe. And then I made a decision. I was going to tell her everything. Show her the proof. Make her see what he really thought of her. But when I went to confront her the next morning, she wasn't there. There was just a note on the kitchen table. Gone to London for the day. With book club. Back tonight. Love you. X. Book club. She was still calling it book club. I checked her location on Find My Phone. We'd always shared locations for safety. She was at a hotel in Westminster. With Marcus. I did something crazy then. I got on a train to London. I didn't have a plan. Didn't know what I'd do when I got there. I just knew I couldn't sit at home pretending I didn't know. I arrived at the hotel at 2 p.m. Sat in the lobby. Waited. They came down at 4. Mom looked radiant. Glowing. Happier than I'd seen her in years. She was holding Marcus's hand, laughing at something he'd said. He looked smug. Satisfied. Like a man who'd just gotten exactly what he wanted. They walked right past me. Didn't even see me sitting there behind a pillar. I followed them out. Watched them kiss goodbye on the street. Watched Marcus walk toward the tube station while Mom headed for the train platform. And then I did the stupidest, bravest thing I'd ever done. I walked up to Marcus.
He turned, surprised.
Then recognition dawned. Sophie, what are you? I know about you and my mom. His face went pale. Sophie, I can explain. Can you? Can you explain why you're sleeping with your son's ex-fiancé's mother? Can you explain why you're telling women on Tinder that she's clingy and you're just bored? His mouth opened.
Closed.
No words came out. She thinks this is real, I said, my voice shaking. She thinks you love her. She talks about you like you're her second chance at happiness. Sophie, it's complicated.
No.
It's actually really simple. You're using her. And I'm going to make sure she knows it. I walked away before he could respond. Found Mom at the train platform. She was sitting on a bench, checking her phone, smiling at something. Probably a message from him. Mom. She looked up. Her smile faltered when she saw my face. Sophie, what are you doing here? I know about Marcus. All the color drained from her face we didn't talk on the train home. She tried. I couldn't. When we got back to the house, she finally broke the silence. How long have you known? 4 days. And you didn't say anything? I wanted proof. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, that this wasn't some horrible misunderstanding. She sat down at the kitchen table, put her head in her hands. I was going to tell you. I swear I was. I didn't know how. How about Sophie? I'm sleeping with your ex's father? That would have been a start. She flinched. I know how it sounds.
Do you?
Do you know that he's on Tinder calling you clingy? That he told another woman you're both just using each other? That he thinks this is all a joke? Her head snapped up. What? I showed her the screenshots. Watched her face crumble as she read them. No, she whispered. No, he wouldn't. We have something real. Mom, he's playing you. She stared at the messages for a long time. Then she started crying. Not soft tears. Deep, broken sobs. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid.
You sat beside her.
Despite everything, despite the betrayal and the lies, I couldn't watch her break alone. You're not stupid. You're lonely. And he took advantage of that. I just wanted to feel something again, she sobbed. After your father died, I felt like I died too. And then James broke your heart, and I saw you suffering, and I felt so helpless. And when Marcus messaged me, he made me feel alive. He made me feel like I was still a person, not just a widow or a mom. I get that. I do. But Mom, James's dad? Out of everyone in the world. She was quiet for a moment. Then, I think part of me wanted to hurt James.
For what he did to you.
I know that sounds awful, but when I realized who Marcus was, I thought if James found out, maybe he'd understand how much pain he caused.
You sat her.
So this was revenge? Not entirely. I did have feelings for Marcus. But maybe those feelings were easier because of who he was. Maybe I wanted this to mean something beyond just me. At least she was being honest. Finally. We sat in that kitchen for hours, talking through everything. The loneliness, the lies, the ways we'd both been trying to heal and ended up hurting each other instead. She called Marcus that night. Ended it. He tried to convince her she was overreacting, that the messages meant nothing. She hung up on him. 2 weeks later, James called me. Said his dad had told him everything. Asked if we could talk. I said no. Because some things can't be fixed. Some betrayals cut too deep. It's been 3 months now. Mom deleted Tinder. Started actual therapy. Joined a real book club. I've met the people, they're lovely. We're rebuilding trust.
Slowly.
It's not easy. Some days I look at her and still feel the sting of betrayal. But she's my mom, and grief makes people do desperate things. I'm in therapy too. Learning that sometimes the people we love hurt us not because they want to, but because they're drowning and grabbing onto anything that looks like a lifeline. Even if that lifeline is completely wrong. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever watched someone you love make choices that broke your heart, if it touched you, share it with someone who might understand. Drop a comment below if you've ever had to learn a similar lesson. Don't forget to subscribe for more honest conversations.